This was James and me sitting in the bed at the nursing home before he was released the first time after he'd been there for 15 years. And there's another one right here. Oh, isn't that cute? And one more. They came out pretty good, I thought, for the phone I had to use. This is James after he thought he had another stroke after he had been out of the nursing home for 5 years. He said he couldn't talk like he was supposed to. And he felt stupid that he couldn't say what he wanted to tell me, and he started not being able to eat things. I said, let's go to the doctor. He didn't want to go to the doctor. He wanted to stay home and watch, what's that called? Antiques Roadshow at 8 o'clock, and the EMS person said he couldn't force James to go to the doctor. But the next time I said, honey, you gotta eat. You look so skinny. See how skinny he looked? Especially here. Gosh, I said, you lost weight, honey. And finally he said, okay, you go to the hospital. And they put in another feeding tube, and he started getting stronger again, fortunately. And then he started being able to eat again without the feeding tube even. So, it's amazing. There he is again. He was getting skinny again. He was trying to look strong, I guess. It looked like he was going to arm wrestle me. And then there he is again with a sit-to-stand in a little building we had made into an apartment. We stayed in there for a little while just to see what it would be like. He didn't like it in there. He said he wanted out, so we moved everything back to the inside the house, which was a job. What's this? Another one inside the apartment somewhere in there. Let's see how nice it looked. I thought it looked really nice, but he didn't want to stay out there. So we moved everything, just about everything, back into the house. I don't think he was in a very good mood. That's one reason he didn't appreciate all that work that it took to move everything over there. But I thought I'd give it a try. I like that little apartment. Sometimes it's fun. It's hard for me to believe we paid someone to do that. All that work. I just had to use it at least once. Try it with James to see if he would really feel better in there. And here's some medals that we bought. We had to buy his medals through the VA. I thought they would give them to him since he worked so hard. But no, we have to buy them. So we got 3 medals of honor. I'm not sure what they're for, but I know he was in the Korean War from start to finish in conflict. And he was the engineer on the ship. There's one more. It's hard to see how pretty they look through this plastic, I guess. And then we have a picture of the ship again, the USS O'Bannon. My father was on the USS O'Brien during the Korean War. I thought maybe it was the same ship. And then here is a picture of, my father's GD-214. And I've looked up their addresses on what's the name of that? MapQuest. And it turned out they were just a few, like less than 2 miles apart. They only lived 2 miles apart or less when they were growing up before they went in the Navy. They probably even knew each other somehow, or met each other at least, when they lived in Tampa just before the Navy. Just before they both went in the Navy. That's my father's TD-214, and he signed it right there. Robert C. Meighen. And, let's see, and Mr. Beckner, James Beckner's TD-214 is right here. He was born in Louisville, Kentucky. He was a cadet engineer on this ship. And he's 5'11", weighed 120 pounds. 180 pounds. There's a big difference. Navy occupation, China service, Korean services, and then United Nations National Defense. That's what those medals are for, I guess. I think that's what we did. We looked at that to see what kind of medals he should get. It says, to whom it may concern, James Bruce Beckner is a native of Louisville, Kentucky. He and his family moved to Tampa, Florida when he was 7 years old because he had bronchial pneumonia. In the 12th grade, James Davey joined the U.S. Navy and was an engineer during the entire Korean War. He worked as a Tampa police officer for 14 years, then at the Ford Motor Company in Tampa, where he became a manager. He and his son owned and operated J&D's tree service. He is known as Mr. Fix-It and is also very strong on his right side. He was also very strong on his left side until he suffered a massive stroke, leaving him in a wheelchair bound most of the time. He enjoys animals, especially cats, dogs, and horses. We love to go to yard sales around this very quiet neighborhood when we are not too busy with doctor's appointments and therapy, speech, physical, and occupational, etc. We are working on independence, as James is an independent thinker and a doer of amazing things, and I love him very much, Carol. And then it says, this is for a statement of support, a claim for service connection for post-traumatic stress disorder. And James was telling about a time that they were trapped in the harbor, called for backup. They sent a light cruiser. By the time they got there, we fought our way out of the trap. Another destroyer hit a mine which blew off the entire bow of that ship. The steam blew backwards. Intense heat was felt. Really sad. And then another time, between August 24th, 1950 and November 25th, 1953, during the hydrogen bomb test, due to radioactivity, I was required to remove all my wet clothing and take a shower to make sure I had it off my body. We were only 75 miles from the blast, bigger than the atom bomb. I saw an island sink. Only 2 dogs were left. I had to wear sunglasses and try not to look at the blast. It was one hell of a miserable blast. It affected my hearing. I don't know. And then we were doing this PTSD screening thing. mostly during thunderstorms, was incoming mail. What? That's that. And then, oh, this song, this Whitney Houston song, I Surrender. So much life I've left to live, and this fire's burning still. When I watch you look at me, I think I could find the will to stand for every dream and forsake the solid ground and give up this fear within of what would happen if they ever knew I'm in love with you. 'Cause I'd surrender everything to feel the chance to live again. I reach to you, I know you can feel it too. We'd make it through 1,000 dreams, I still believe I'd make you give them all to me. I'd hold you in my arms and never let go. I surrender. And I sent this to James through the mail when we were apart for about a month. When Noreen decided he should go in rehab and I should go in the hospital. So we were apart, and I felt like I had to write to him and send him songs and pictures and stuff like that, and just had them on my mind. I know I can't survive another night away from you. You're the reason I go on, and now I need to live the truth. Right now, there's no better time. From this fear I will break free, and I live again with love, and no, they can't take that away from me. And they will see, yeah, I'd surrender everything to feel the chance to live again. I'd reach to you, I know you can feel it too. We'd make it through 1,000 dreams, I still believe I'd make you give them all to me. I'd hold you in my arms and never let go. I'd surrender. And then there's more. And Noreen told me that they said he was crying, calling for me, and he wouldn't eat. And I just had to go see him, and finally she brought me. And I was walking with crutches or a walker or something. And then I rode my bike across Highway 27 the next time to get to him, and it took me forever because I accidentally went the long way and I had blisters all over my back. And I was wearing a lacy shirt because I wanted to look pretty for him, and I had just enough money to buy a chocolate bar with almonds and a pina colada. And James, I would give him the candy bar, the chocolate without the almonds in it, and he was just eating that up and drinking through a straw, the pina colada, and then I fell asleep on his bed next to him, and he was letting me rest, and I fell asleep for a long time. Finally, at about 5 o'clock, we decided I had to go home, and I had to ride that bicycle. I was riding it home, and Noreen saw me, and fortunately, because all these cars were beeping their horns at me because I wasn't going fast enough, they figured, and they were trying to pass me, and they wanted to get home. And she picked me up and put the adult tricycle in the back of the vehicle. And that's how I got home. Okay. There.